Well, hello everyone. I am so excited today to introduce my long lost primo, my cousin, who I have never ever had the privilege of meeting in person, but I'm so excited to actually see his face today, get to talk to him and share with you all the amazing things that he's doing. So it is my pleasure to introduce Pepper Medina himself. And I'm so excited because I have his t-shirt right here. That's what I'm wearing today. The best friend is a life well lived. Woo! And I could not have said it better myself. So,
way to represent. I love it.
Hey, of course, got to. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you're from and a bit of his background, and then we'll get started with the rest of the interview.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I want to say is even though we had never met previously, our first conversation on the phone was last year?
Yes.
And we automatically bonded. It was like we had known each other for years. Yeah, and I automatically had just a kinship with you automatically, and I felt it ran deep. So with that being said, I can't wait for us to move forward with all of our projects that we're going to be working on together. So I am a Colorado Springs native. I have been here my entire life, other than a brief stint of moving to New York. And I quickly came back, and I started my career in cosmetics for the most part. I was in cosmetics. I was a makeup artist, an educator, a fragrance specialist for going on 20 plus years. And so hence my eyebrows.
I know you need to teach me.
You are beautiful. Yeah, and after COVID quarantine, which left us all basically stagnant, stuck, I left the beauty industry and I never went back. And at first I was sad about that, but then I got an amazing opportunity to work with my best friend since 1980. He asked me to be an ally in his restaurant, the Westside Cantina, and I'm now in the restaurant business and I love it. Yes, I love it. I love working with, he's basically my family. And we are going to do great things together, me, him, and his wife. And I'm so excited about this new future.
Wonderful. That sounds amazing. And we'll talk about Westside in a minute. But first of all, I want to talk about one of the reasons why I wanted to interview you. And so you can share with the world what your plans are for your book. You have an incredible story to tell, amazing experiences, things that people need to hear, people need to read for healing, for support. And I'm really excited about that project. You and I have been working on the editing for that, and it's not ready to be released yet. So hold on, guys. But we'll definitely let you know. We'll keep you posted when that's going to happen. But first of all, can you tell us a little bit about your book? Give us the title that you're thinking of and tell us what it generally speaks of.
Yes, so I've had this book idea all my life, to tell you the truth, and it wasn't until one of my mentors, Mickey Gates, also the curator of TEDx, which we'll talk about in a minute, she started writing her book based on her experiences, and it really lit a fire in me to start mine and get it done, finally get it done. So this book was a long time in the making. It was in my mind. The story was already there. It was just basically getting it executed. I had thought about how I wanted it to go, how I wanted the theme to go, and it really lit a fire in me to say, you know what, this is it. We are in quarantine. There ain't nothing else to do. I can only clean so much. So,
Yeah.
So I put my mind into it, and voila, we're almost done. And I'm so excited about it. Writing your memoir based on your struggles and the journey you've gone through, it's very daunting. It is very therapeutic because you basically have to relive everything bad that happened to you. And my story is not a joyous one. It is not it's not a happy story per se, but it is inspirational. My struggle is very interesting. I believe we all have struggles. We all go through our own journeys. Some are better, some are worse. Mine was in the worst category, if not beyond worse. And I'm ready to help anybody that is going through something similar to my situation. And that's the main reason I wrote it. That's the main reason.
Well, it's an incredible story, and the chapters that I've read thus far have really touched me, and some of them have made me laugh, some of them have really made me cry, and so I really can't wait for you to get this story out, because I know so many people are going to be touched by it. Can you give us in general some of the themes that people can expect when the book comes out?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to say my editor is not only beautiful but amazingly smart.
Thank you.
That's you.
You're too sweet.
We are going to take a journey. We are going to take a trip with a very young Mexican boy who was raised to be submissive. He was raised in a family that was not only very verbally abusive, very physically abusive, an alcoholic home. And we often hear about the victim while they're going through a certain situation or briefly after, but we never hear the long-term effects of that victim. Did they decide to make things grow, or did they decide to destroy? And in my story, I did both. So the key to that is self-awareness. And do you want to stay that person that destroys, or do you want to stay that person or become that person that decides to make things flourish? And that's where I am now. We also get glimpses in the behind the scenes of the beauty industry. We get glimpses of addiction, my addictions. There's a little bit of everything in this. There's a love story in there, very forbidden, I should say. And I'm excited for it. It's very, like I said, it's a very insidious thought to have people read your whole truth. It's scary, but I'm ready for it because it's not about me anymore. It's about helping somebody else.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's cathartic.
Yes,
you're able to
absolutely.
Do. And you know that that what you're doing is going to be able to help someone. And just like I said, some of the experiences that I've read thus far in your story have really touched my heart. And I know that there's going to be someone out there that's going to say, hey, I'm not alone in this.
Right.
If Pepper can go through this, then I can too. He can come out on the other side doing all these amazing things, being a TEDx speaker. I mean, wow. Writing a book, getting it published, working, helping to establish this amazing restaurant, and get on the side of making your life what you want it to be, becoming the best version of yourself. I think that it's going to be worth it to get that story out. And so I'm really excited about that.
Absolutely. And, also, I often tell people all the time, what is your book about? What is it about? The honest answer is, I don't have a clear-cut answer on how to answer that. It's about many things. And, being Hispanic, being gay, knowing who I was at a very early age. And as you know, in the Hispanic community, especially in the late 70s, early 80s, that was unacceptable. It still is in a lot of families, even in 2021. And I was a lone soldier. I had no army. I had no support squad. I was my support squad. So it is very therapeutic. Having to relive those terrible memories was at times, like you said, some of them made me laugh, but mostly I was on my keyboard. Oh my God. Wiping away tears, but it had to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, I'm really excited to have it come out. We're still in the editing process, y'all. And so we will be coming out with it hopefully by next year. And we'll make sure that we get the word out as soon as it's there. And do you have a title for it yet? Do you want to share?
I do. The book is called The Dog Run. And the dog run is actually a running theme throughout the entire book. It's an experience with an actual dog run. Again, it's not happy, but it is very detrimental to what the story is all about. And like you said, a lot of people are going to see themselves in a lot of the stories. It's seedy. I tell the truth. It's raw and it's real. So I just want everybody to know that firsthand. It's not this, oh, everything, no. as you know, Kim.
Cutesy Mary Poppins story. No, that's not it. It's really raw.
No.
It's gonna hit you right in the heart. So yeah,
Right.
the dog run, y'all be ready for it. It'll be out next year, 2022. So on to the next idea, the next topic, and I think it was probably the catalyst that took you to TEDx, right? Like the stuff that you've been doing with your memoir. So can you tell us a little bit about that experience with TEDx and how you got started with it? So excited.
Yes. So I had heard that TEDx was going to be coming to Colorado Manitou Springs chapter, the Manitou Springs chapter. And I didn't realize how much work went into becoming a TEDx chapter. So when we initially got the go ahead to send in auditions through video, I didn't think anything of it. You know, they had hundreds of submissions. I put my first submission in, and about a week later, I got a call from the TEDx team saying that out of all the submissions, mine was the #1 most memorable.
Wow.
Mine was blown. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. And this is just what my submission was, basically a verbal excerpt from my book. Nice. So I knew I was on the right track. And then we had to send in a second submission. And again, they were like, wow, you just blew us away. It was amazing. And so, which leading up to September 25th, which was last Saturday. I say last Saturday because it's Monday now. It was the most surreal, nerve-wracking feeling I have ever experienced in my life. And I have had many memorable experiences. It was stressful in a good way, almost like taking a roller coaster ride, knowing for the most part you'll be safe, but there's always that chance of, oh my goodness, something's going to happen. Well, that's what it felt like.
Wow. You know, and it's really amazing. When I wrote my book in 2016, which I can't believe it's already been that long. It's 5 years. It's ridiculous.
Isn't it crazy?
Oh my gosh, time is just flying by. But, you know, to send it off to somebody and have somebody read something so personal, you know, it's something that you've never done before. It's very vulnerable, and you're not sure how people are going to react to it. And so, you know, you sending those short clips, those excerpts that you did, and, you know, being vulnerable and sending that to them that way, that, you know, I know that had to be very nerve-wracking. And then to get that feedback, you know, that is what helps a person stay motivated to continue on, so that, you know, this is the right thing for me to do. I can continue to be inspired. I'm on the right track. So yeah, that's so very cool. And I can imagine how just exciting and, you know, surreal. I'm sure the roller coaster ride is like probably the perfect analogy for it.
Oh my goodness. So TEDx is a very well put together machine. They were on top of it. We had to submit our scripts. We had to do rehearsals, and you get your feedback, you get your critique. And it was just so invigorating to be in a room with 12 other brilliant speakers. We have PhDs, we have a dental hypnotist in this group. And then you have me, a makeup artist. We had a Olympian with us. I was like, what is going on? But when we were all together, none of our backgrounds mattered. We all felt the same nerves. We all supported each other. We all encouraged each other. And to get feedback from my peers saying that, you know what? Hey, you know what, Pepper? You just raised the bar. I was like, what? So, but again, it wasn't just all focused on me. We were focused on each other. I tell my friends now that TEDx speakers just think different. And you have to realize that means you always have to ask questions. You always have to think outside of the box. My favorite, one of my favorite sayings is, you have to be a problem solver, not a troublemaker. And being in a room with people like that, yes.
So amazing. What an experience, you know. And hey, you're a makeup artist. You are an author. okay? Because once this thing is done, once you get started on it, you can't go back. You are an author.
That's it.
Get that engraved into your vocabulary from now on, because it's, you know, you're an artist, period, you know. And you're also like the manager of this amazing new restaurant. So, you know, if there was one experience during this talk, tell me what would be your best moments.
My best moments was, believe it or not, the critiques. I got critiqued on everything. They said I was a brilliant storyteller. They said the story was there. They loved the story. I loved my critiques. I often, from my past, my childhood, I was often told I was very stupid. I was dumb. I was worthless. So whenever I would get happy about things or smile or laugh, I would always do this. Robert Kitterich, my speaker coach, caught on to that like that. He said, I don't know what it is or who told you in your life that you could not smile or laugh. But your laugh is infectious and you need to let the world hear it without a hand over it.
I love it. I love it. It's so cool to hear that.
Yes, so now when I smile, and again, I still can't open my mouth up all the way because of previous surgery not too long ago. But now when I smile or laugh, I don't, it's like, yes. So,
world.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. So I am a classic person that wants to always be better. So when I hear critique or something negative about myself, I'm like, wait, I'm going to change that.
Yeah, I hear you. And I love that. I think that's so amazing. You know, the other question I wanted to know was, what was it like to be on stage in front of all of those people? And
you know, I took a page from one of my favorite artists of all time, Madonna, who is limitless. She is amazing. She's fearless. And she said when she's on stage, she doesn't look at them as millions of people. She looks at them as millions of lights. And I took that energy from the audience when I was speaking. I was getting clapped. I got a standing ovation. Yes, and I try not to, and I'm really weird. I try not to look at faces. I look at tops of hair.
You're just trying to see what their hair looks like. Tell the truth.
Yeah, I was looking at hair. I was looking at tops of hair. I was like, oh, cute. Oh, I want that shade of blonde next.
A cute, not cute. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's basically how I did, because I think if I would have saw their faces, I would have just froze. But yeah, being on stage also went by like that. I was told prior to TEDx speakers who have done it several times that you forget what you say when you get off stage, and to not forget to stop when you're finished and take in the applause. Because a lot of the speakers were just running off stage.
Yeah.
But not this one. I went,
hey, well, that's what I'm talking about. That's my cousin. I love it.
Yes. Yep. So, and I loved making them laugh. I also loved making them cry, but not for sympathy. I wanted them to feel emotion. I wanted them to be on that journey that I went through. Even if they couldn't relate to it personally, they got it as if they were watching a scene out of a movie. Yeah. And I think I did it.
Absolutely. Your energy is so incredible. And I think that's why we bonded so well last year, because it was like, yeah, we just connected with that chemistry. It was so cool. And I can just imagine you being on that stage telling those stories, because I could feel it, you know, I could just totally feel it. And when I'm reading your work, it's the same thing. It feels the same way. You know, I'm totally
good.
That I could relate to, you know, some of the stuff that you went through personally, but because the way that you are an amazing storyteller, and the way that you tell it touches you, you know, and the things that you've learned from those experiences, you know, that you shared, I think, you know, they're nuggets of wisdom that, you know, many people can, they can just take away some, wonderful advice, wonderful inspiration from. So thank you for doing this.
Yes, and I have to say, coming from you, a brilliant writer, I'm keeping a surprise. I'm halfway done with your book. I love it. That coming from you, who is established and knows what you are doing, thank you. I bow down.
Thank you so much for saying that. It's been a really incredible process. I had an amazing editor, and because of her, that book is what it is. So I really appreciate you saying that. And for me, it's just been such it's one of those things where people say that if you're doing what you love, you don't work a day in your life.
Right.
For me, that's the way writing feels. And telling that particular story, it's a part of me, and I love it. So
yes, and I also have had people that have came to me like, oh my God, was it hard to write a book? I'm like, here's my test. You go home. I want you to write 2 paragraphs about a story that you went through, and you think it's easy, but then you write them out, and they're like, oh wait, let me change this. Is this the right word? Oh my goodness. And then what could possibly take 15 minutes to write 2 paragraphs turns into 2 days. And even then you're like, I need so
oh yeah. When I submitted that first manuscript, there were parts of it that I already knew, but it was my baby, right? So of course I'm getting feedback, and the feedback she gave me was that there was some parts, or one part in particular, that needed more attention. And I, of course I was like offended because that's the first time I ever did anything, like that. And I submitted a piece of my heart, right? And so I'm like, okay, but I knew she was right in terms of what you talked about with critique and, constructive criticism. Not criticism that's just destructive, but constructive criticism. That's
exactly.
I knew she was right, so I redid the whole thing. And, and it turned out so much better. If I had not heard her advice, it would have fallen flat. Yeah, and you're absolutely right about that process. You do doubt yourself about certain parts. And so when you do get feedback, like the kind of feedback that you've received, it just really helps to build your confidence and to remind you, you're doing this story for a reason, and it is the right thing to do. So I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear you got the standing ovation. Like I said, I'm not surprised because I knew you'd be incredible out there.
Well, I thank you. Can I just tell everybody a quick secret about my writing?
Yes, sure.
I do not know how to technically type.
Are you like henpecking?
I created Pepper's own way of typing really fast. I peck really fast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know how to do the classic, but isn't that funny?
Oh, that's hilarious. That's awesome though. You got to do it how you know how. And right. I had like the most hardcore business teacher in the world when I was in the 9th grade. She was old school, and she had us on ASDF, JKL semicolon, and with a paper over our hands. And if we would move from that, or even try to peek underneath it, you'd get a slap to the hand.
Yeah. Well, she obviously didn't teach me because I still know nothing about typing. I'm like, I do it my weird way, but it gets it done.
And whatever it is that's going to get the job done. That's all good, right?
Exactly.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Westside Cantina. I'm so excited to hear more about this brand new adventure that you've embarked on.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm a co-parent to this baby. Westside Cantina, we're located in Old Colorado City, 2611 Colorado Avenue.
Y'all. Say it one more time.
Westside Cantina, Old Colorado City, 2611 Colorado Avenue.
Yes, and we'll have more on that at the end, and a link to be able to find it. So yeah, everybody go out, check it out. I haven't gone yet. I'm in the Denver metro area, but I will. So
yes, you will. You must.
Yes,
so
you.
I love it. We are Mexican owned. We are local. We have all fresh homemade food. We specialize in tacos and tequilas. One of them, as a matter of fact, by Dobel, we actually have a Westside Cantina tequila.
Woo!
And I'm not going to turn this into a whole tequila education story, but I learned about tequilas. I didn't know the difference between anejos, reposados, cristalinos, but since we have been open, I have got a plethora of information of all the differences in tequilas and why some give us hangovers, why some taste better and smoother than others. And I want you to know we do not have any tequilas that would give you hangovers. I mean, obviously, if you drink enough of it, come on now.
What about ones that make you crazy? I don't want that one.
So also, we have our own Westside Cantina tequila that actually has our label on it. This was made by a tequila maker in Jalisco, Mexico, which is delicious. Yeah, so I just get excited telling our guests all about the different tequilas. I'm an educator. I love teaching. Even if it's a tourist here from Denmark, I'm like, hey, do you know what a reposado is? And they're like, no, but let me find out.
Nice. So cool. So tell me, what is a reposado?
So a reposado means rested. So it is more of a darker color tequila. It is, at times it's in an oak barrel. So it gives it that smooth, woody vanilla flavoring. Yeah, it's delicious. And then our tequilas, our tacos are all homemade. They are larger than street tacos. We have a full, other than two items on the menu, we are all gluten-free.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and when I first heard that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm a meat eater. I love my wheat, but the gluten-free tacos are delicious. You know, we have vegan options. Yeah, just unbelievable.
So exciting. Well, I can't wait to come out and try it all. Even the tequila. You have to.
Yes.
What kind is the clear one that you just showed me? What brand or what type is that?
So this is considered a cristalino.
Okay.
It's a newer version of a tequila. So we tried it. It's really smooth. Yeah, it's actually really delicious. This, if you check on me after this, I might have this bottle open.
Okay. Nice. Well, thank you so much for all that information. And like I said, I can't wait to come out and actually see you in person and get to hug you.
Yes. We'll do a shot together.
Yes, that would be so cool. And maybe we could do a little bit of Facebook Live or something to
absolutely
bring a little bit more promotion. So, well, my goodness, you have had some amazing experience throughout your lifetime, some great, others not so much. You're writing this amazing story, this memoir. You just did TEDx. You're in this incredible new Westside Cantina restaurant business. What advice can you give somebody that would want to follow in your footsteps, maybe?
Keep your blinders on when it comes to your dreams and your goals. You have to stay focused. Don't listen to the negativity. You have to embrace your own inner strength. And I tell people all the time, never let anyone steal your power. Stay focused. Keep going. You know, there were many times when I was told I could not, I would not, I will not. And I didn't pay attention to that.
Good.
You asked me what other advice I'd give. I tell people this all the time too. If you want something, you give something. And it doesn't mean like, hey, I need money, so I'm going to give somebody $5. No, if it could be giving your time, giving your energy, giving somebody an ear to listen, and the universe will pay it forward. So I love that as well.
Yeah, I love hearing that. And of course, again, the best revenge is a life well lived by Pepper.
Yes, I love it.
I have to say that is one of my favorite sayings, because, you know, so many times there are people that they will tell you that you can't. They will tell you that you won't. They will point out the things that we are insecure about, you know, and I think, you know, to take revenge or to think in those terms on what, you know, the haters are doing, and you becoming the best version of yourself. And if the haters are going to see that, then they'll know that they can't touch you.
Exactly.
So,
It's an incredible saying. And then somebody also very brilliant told me, you know what? You chew the meat, you spit out the bones. Who could that have been?
I don't know. No, honestly, when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, I love that because you can be anywhere and learn anything from any experience.
Yep.
Eating the meat and spitting out the bones, you can take what you want and keep on walking, keep on.
That's right.
And take strength from it, so.
That's right.
So yeah, so proud of you. And again, I can't wait to meet you in person.
I know. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm proud of you too for bringing awareness to Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
Of course, that's. Are you talking about the book fair that we just did, or?
All of it. You're just such a great support squad for Hispanic heritage. Promoting, supporting Hispanic authors. Anybody in the business. You're a rare breed, Kimberly, because a lot of people want to do, but they don't do, and you go far on beyond that. So
well,
thank you.
That I appreciate it. And for me, doing this, getting our voices out is so important. There's so much. I think that was something that I missed along the way when I was growing up, is really hearing. I heard it from my parents, my family members. I heard our own stories, but the stuff that was taught in school wasn't there. And I could go on my soapbox of the things that I talk about, like San Luis being the oldest town in Colorado, and
Right.
nowhere in the history books. And so, just lots of different things like that. And I think for me, that's the most important thing, is getting our voice out there, because again, this is another nugget of wisdom that I got from a movie. If it's not written, it didn't happen,
Yep.
And so if we can get more of us to be able to share our stories and tell people our experiences from our own mouths, that's another reason why I'm doing these interviews, because I want people to hear these biographies, from the person's mouth, so that they can share with the world what they've learned and who they are, and inspire others. For me, that's so important. And thank you for saying that. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So yeah, is there anything else you want to share with us?
No, I'm so excited to do a follow-up interview with you, possibly, and I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait for you to come down to Westside Cantina. I can't wait for us to finish our journey together with my book, because we are going to do great things. And yeah, and now I can say I'm an official TEDx speaker.
Woohoo! Yeah,
Yes.
got a cousin that did it. Yeah.
That's right.
So, okay, y'all. Well, be on the lookout for the dog run. We are working steadily on it, and it'll be out soon. And Westside Cantina, go visit. Go learn all about the different types of tequila and have some amazing
That's right.
parties with my cousin. Yeah.
Come take a selfie with me. I love doing them.
Yes, that would be incredible. So again, thank you so much, and so good to see you. Mwah. Love you. And
Love you.
hopefully I'll get to see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This is Kim Sanchez, and this has been a La Gente Legacy production. Stay tuned for more.